Hello and good evening. Today it is Saturday, December 19th, 2020, and for this video today, I will be discussing the uniform changes that the Colorado Avalanche will be making for the upcoming 2020-21 NHL season, and I will be sharing my thoughts on those changes today. So, ever since the 2017-18 season, the Colorado Avalanche have finally, let's just say they finally have woken up in recent years and realized that the Reebok Edge uniforms, that I honestly still don't understand how those awful uniforms lasted from 2007 till the end of the 2016-17 season, where I still don't understand how Colorado approved those, let alone, and on top of that, why they didn't at least replace them 3 to 5 seasons after unveiling them back for the 07-08 season in the first place. I mean, they had a lighter blue third jersey that was the same color as the blue on this jersey. Then in, I believe, the 2015-16 season was when they brought in their navy blue third jersey, which they've basically had ever since with the exception of the 2017-18 season. But ever since the NHL has switched from the Reebok Edge uniforms to the Adidas Adi Zero uniforms, Colorado's uniforms have been significantly better. In fact, these are so much better than the Reebok Edge era uniforms that when they were first unveiled, I did not call them an overwhelming upgrade. I called them a drastic overhaul. Just a drastic overhaul, because that's what this was. This was beyond an upgrade. This is just such a complete 180 from the crap they had for basically an entire decade almost. But yeah, you look at these uniforms, I honestly feel that this is the best primary colored uniform that the Avalanche have ever had in their history. This version of their original uniform, even though I've always felt that the black accenting actually made this a little bit better, but getting rid of the Yeti foot on the shoulders and replacing it with the simple state flag C patch, in my opinion, was the right decision, and it looks much better. And their home uniform here for the past few seasons, even though it's not my favorite design in the world, I'm not going to lie, I've always been happy seeing this uniform on the ice because it's just so much better than what Colorado had before it. Then you look at their away uniform that they've had during the Adidas era, and even though it is so much better than their Reebok Edge era uniform, I've had some issues with this uniform. Like, number one, for example, you look at the blue on the socks. Notice how little blue there is on the jersey. See, this is a situation where I feel they should have included the blue accenting here. And the original uniform was a bit better in my opinion because the blue on the jersey actually tied into the amount of blue on the socks a lot better than the current version, even though I think you and me and most people will agree that their current uniforms are so much better than what they've had. And truth is, I've been relatively content with them, even though the away jersey could have been a lot better in my opinion, and this style uniform, in my opinion, gets more praise than I think it deserves, I'm not going to lie. So let's cut to the chase, folks, and let's get into the main portion of this video. So, obviously, last season, the Colorado Avalanche thought that creating this Mountain Thing Stadium Series train wreck was a good idea. I mean, I don't know about you, but this is one of the ugliest jerseys I've ever seen. Yikes. But notice the equipment. Notice how they were wearing blue gloves, blue helmets, and, well, blue pants. Well, ladies and gentlemen, starting next season, those pieces of equipment will be used on their home uniforms, and everything in those except for the blue helmets will be also utilized on their away uniform as well. So starting next season, the Avalanche are getting rid of their black equipment, their gloves, pants, and helmets on their home jersey, and replacing them with the blue equipment that you see here. And it is a significant uniform change, and I have to be honest here, I hate it. I think this is going to be a major mistake. It's a disaster, in my opinion. And throughout the video, I will explain why I feel that way. In fact, I would have rather seen the Colorado Avalanche make this their full-time third jersey for next season and then retire it, over seeing the Avalanche permanently alter their home and away uniforms the way they will be for next season. Because if they kept this for one more season, we would only be stuck with this hideous thing for one extra season, for about 10 games tops. It's better than seeing the Avalanche take their home and away uniforms and ruin them, at least in my opinion. So here is a mock-up that someone made, and credit to the artist who made this mock-up. I can't remember his name, but I want to make sure I give credit to the artist who did make this rendering, because I think it's an excellent rendering. So he put the third jersey logo on the pant shells. I don't think that will actually be there. So notice how the blue ties into the blue on the jersey, and the blue adds so much more blue to the away uniform. And also a little tidbit here. Notice that CCM quick light collar. See, I think even a collar design change like that to the quick light collars from CCM would be an upgrade over the Addy Zero collars we're stuck with right now, even though I think the CCM quick light collars are ugly too. But man, this makes me long for the Reebok Edge collars. But you know, of all of the changes that have been made in the Addy Zero era so far, besides the Calgary Flames going full-time retro, I gotta say the Avalanche are probably still my favorite change, only after the Calgary Flames, because Colorado needed it more than anybody. So this is a mock-up created by Chris Creamer of sportslogos.net. So credit to him, and there's his watermarked logo there on the pants. And very clever placement of it, by the way, Chris, if you ever see this video. So notice the blue helmet and the blue pants. I'm sorry, folks, but this absolutely throws the color balance of this uniform off dramatically. And I've also managed to find a little clip or NHL 21 photo of the Avalanche wearing the blue pants and gloves on their away uniform. I mean, look at that. I'm sorry, folks, but that just looks hideous. The blue gloves and pants look like they belong on a totally different uniform. It's like these guys had their black equipment lost at an airport or something, and they had to borrow, like, say, the Toronto Maple Leafs equipment, for example. Jesus Christ, that looks bad. So I honestly don't get why Colorado thinks this is a good idea, because it's a mess. It's really a piss poor choice for the Avalanche to do to their uniforms, in my opinion. So I also want to acknowledge one more thing. According to NHLuniforms.com, for their third jersey, there were some reports that the Avalanche may be tweaking their third jersey itself. But according to NHLuniforms.com, the only thing that's changing about their third jersey for next season is that on the pant shells, on the very bottom of the pant shell, the Avalanche will be adding a thin white stripe that goes all the way around, I believe. And they will also be adding a thin white stripe on each side of the pants as well. That's the only change that's supposedly coming to their alternate uniform, is some extra white accenting being added to the pant shell. That's it. Their third jersey's not that great, in my opinion. I know I'm sure there will be a lot of viewers that disagree. I know a lot of people seem to really like it, but I thought it was, when it first came out, I really liked it only because their main uniforms were so bad at the time. These originally came out during the Reebok era. And I was hoping, in fact, I thought Colorado's uniforms were so bad at the time that I would have been glad if they would have went to this full time at the time. But thankfully, they went with what they went with, even though those aren't my favorite uniforms either, I'm not going to lie. But once again, you look at the blue. I don't like this move at all. It absolutely throws the color balance right off. And, you know, I get it. When the Colorado Avalanche first relocated from Quebec, which coincidentally this season, they will be doing a Quebec Nordiques reverse retro uniform where they will be wearing a Nordiques uniform but recolored in the Avalanche color scheme, of course, instead of the original, which I think they should have just done the original because it looks better, but still looks good either way. But I also wish, not going to lie, that Colorado would not wear a Nordiques throwback, but I'm not going to go into any further detail on that here. But obviously that's a matter of opinion. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Notice the black equipment, the gloves, the helmet, and the pants. See, I don't know about you viewers out there, but what I like about the black equipment here is that it contrasts the uniform. There's something about the black that actually helps contrast the rest of the uniform. Because you see how much blue is on the bottom, because obviously Colorado does not use traditional waist striping, eh? So when you've got the pants matching the bottom of the jersey, that is not just blue. That is a big, massive block of blue. And it's not good. It creates too much of one color on the uniform, where the black actually breaks up the burgundy and the blue very nicely. Same with the gloves and same with the helmet. I mean, yeah, I've seen some people say, well, what about burgundy pants? Even that would have been a better choice than the blue, but I have to say I prefer the black. And see, this is why, now that I think about it, I wish that Colorado would have just gone full-blown retro instead of doing a slightly modernized take on the originals by getting rid of the black accenting on the home jersey and the blue accenting on the away jersey. So with the original uniform, and you know what, why don't I pull a photo of it up just to show you what I mean. You notice how the black accenting ties not only to the jersey, but to the equipment of the uniform. The black really suited this uniform a lot better back when they originally brought it out, when they first, of course, relocated from Quebec, eh? And notice that nice V-neck traditional collar. But you see about the Yeti foot, I know a lot of people seem to like it. I don't know why. I don't get the love for that. And I'm not going to lie, I don't get the love for these uniforms either. I find they've got a little bit too much going on, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people will definitely disagree. But speaking of the original uniforms, here's a photo of Colorado's original white jersey. Notice how you have the blue accenting all throughout the jersey to match the socks. See, the Avalanche had the equipment and the socks brought back, but they forgot to add the blue accenting to the jersey. And I think that even the original numbers with the glacier twill and the extra outlines actually helped tie in both uniforms a lot better. See, with Colorado's uniforms and with how busy they are, I look at another team that I actually really enjoy seeing in international hockey tournaments because they are the only country that wears burgundy, is Latvia. Notice Latvia's uniform, how clean and simple it is. Obviously, I would not want the Avalanche to wear this exact style. I'd want them to keep the blue and do it a little bit different and actually have some waist striping. But, you know, you look at the burgundy and the black and the white, and I've wondered for a long time if it's time for Colorado to cut back on the amount of blue. And I actually think it'd be really nice if Colorado was more of a burgundy, black, white, and silver team rather than a burgundy, blue, silver, and, well, basically no more black team, or very little black on the uniforms now, basically just on the jersey. But here's another shot of the Latvian national uniforms. And you see how well the black and the burgundy and the white go together. And now Colorado's trying to be burgundy and blue, and to me, it just does not work. It doesn't work at all. I mean, the color balance, oops, wrong. Actually, okay, I zoomed in, my bad. See, the color balance here works very, very well. But I have to say something else. I actually think it would have been really nice to see Colorado redesign their uniforms. I mean, before I used to think it'd be better if they went to something more Rockies-ish or a powder blue. But in the past few years, I've really grown to appreciate the burgundy as their main color because nobody else wears it. Now, Arizona does wear a hue of red called Sedona red, which is basically in the middle between the Flames' beautiful scarlet red, for example, and Colorado's just as nice burgundy here. I mean, I prefer scarlet red, but the burgundy is a nice color too. And the Sedona red is kind of a happy medium that the Coyotes are wearing right now. But I think after next season, I'll call it now, but they will be going full-time retro by the start of the 21-22 season. That's my prediction, not that it matters. But the color balance here is so much better than what they're going to be doing. I don't understand why Colorado is doing it. As I said earlier, they would have been better off retiring their current third jersey and wearing their Stadium Series uniform for one season rather than switching the equipment out on their home and away uniforms for blue equipment and a blue helmet for the home uniform. And of course, obviously, thankfully, they're not going to wear the blue helmet on their away uniform. Yay, let's take a bad idea and make it even worse, eh? But yeah, it really disappoints me. And even the number font looks kind of incomplete. There is a silver outline on the numbers, but without some black or even some blue accenting there, you can't see it. They just look like single numbers. It's like it almost looks like from a distance that the team got cheap and they wanted to save costs on fabrics or numbers on number kits, and they just went with one outline. It's a really piss poor choice. And actually, this uniform, in my opinion, this is the best it's ever looked, in my opinion, overall. I mean, as I say that, as I said earlier, I actually think this would even be a bit better if they brought back the black accenting. It did tie into the uniform better, but with the shoulder patch not being that Yeti foot, I actually like this version a little bit better. And even without the black, just having the blue, silver, burgundy looks very nice here. Even though I do prefer the little bit of black accenting. But, you know, I look at this uniform and I think another thing too about Colorado's uniforms that I don't like is that for the longest time, I've always felt that their home uniform that you see here is a uniform that shouldn't have an away, that's very hard to make a good matching away of. I've never liked the original away uniform. I don't really care for their current away uniform much either. I actually think this is more of a design that is better reserved as a third jersey. And I know most of you viewers are saying, hey, are you kidding me? I'm sure. But that's how I feel. I actually wish that Colorado would go back to the drawing board and go with a more traditional uniform design. And as I say that, I know a lot of people love the Mountain Range style. It is unique, I agree, and I love the burgundy color. I wouldn't want it to go anywhere. But I just don't understand the rationale behind this. I mean, I think Colorado would have been better off trying to get new home and away uniforms. Seriously. I mean, I feel 100% that Colorado doing this and going with this look full-time is a big downgrade, especially to their home uniform, which in my opinion, I have never liked their home uniform more after all these years than I have so far in the Adidas era. That's gone now. I mean, is this still better than the Reebok Edge uniforms? Yeah, but with the blue equipment, honestly, I mean, it's way better still. The jersey is, but the uniform is, God, they need the black here for contrast. And this is an issue I've been having in the Adidas era too, where the Boston Bruins have gotten rid of their gold socks, and the Maple Leafs had those multi-striped socks that they wore for years, ever since the start of the 92-93 season. And now they've gotten rid of those too. I mean, I don't know what it is with Adidas, but they just think, so far in the Adidas era, it seems like teams have to match everything up perfectly, where some of those imperfections, like the sock stripes for Toronto and the gold socks or the yellow socks for the Boston Bruins, those were parts of those looks that made them better. And the black equipment, even if it was a rush job by the Avalanche back in the mid-90s when they first relocated from Quebec City, that rush job has so far proven that it is much better than this change they're about to make. I know I've been talking for almost 20 minutes, but I can't say it enough. I think that the Avalanche here have made a major piss poor, not a major mistake, a piss poor decision. I just don't get it. How could Colorado be this stupid? I know some people are going to disagree with me, but I think this is ridiculous. This is a stupid decision. But anyways, that's my 2 cents on the change. I absolutely think that this is one of the dumbest uniform changes I've seen in a while. It, you know, actually, I shouldn't say that, because I actually think that the Canucks uniform change they made, even though it was a slight upgrade overall, was pretty dumb in my opinion, because I wanted to see them go to and try something new, go to the stick and rink, or go better yet, go back to the early 90s orangey red skate uniforms just before the 94 Stanley Cup run. And another stupid change, Carolina's away uniform too. I can't say it enough, folks. It's just, what the hell are the Avalanche thinking? This over this? Big mistake. But anyways, if you've stuck around for the entirety of this video, I hope that it was worth your time. If you've got anything you want to add in the comments section below, please feel free to do so. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on this change. I'm sorry, guys. I know I've been talking for over 20 minutes, but what the hell? Especially with their away uniform is going to look even worse. Actually, I take that back. They're both going to look equally bad. Equally stupid. They're going to look like they actually left or had their equipment lost at a goddamn airport. Damn. Wow. What a bad move this is. Anyway, if you've got anything you want to mention about the video, feel free to comment below. Until my next video, you guys, take care. And as usual, bye for now.